Okay, my dear student, let me just move ahead. Teaching approaches used to teach literature and language in classrooms. This is very, very important lecture for your course, and I hope that you will try to understand it because it's very, very, very essential, and you have to understand today's lecture with full attention. Uh, if you look at the historical development of approaches recognized to teach literature, it can be said that the approaches have evolved from a central focus on a literature is a subject matter to making literature is a resource for other subject matter like teaching of English language. Remember, but before actually looking at approaches, you must try to understand that there have been many approaches and many techniques and many methodology. They have been tried to teach language to the students. Some of them, got the required and the desired results, but some of them just couldn't because of so many reasons. So the reason is simply the reason is simply they just couldn't manage things, you see, in that way. So I must say that let me tell you very importantly, you know that some of these approaches, they can be effective just to get the desired result, but it's not the guarantee that a certain fixed approach can be effectively used. And similarly, such things are just used actually and in the teaching methodology. One approach is, if you look at the English teaching approaches and methodology, you can find that first GTM came, then BM came, direct method, and then ALM and many other approaches, TPR such as Topedia and DI, direct instruction. These actually came, and they had certain supporters and advocates, but those methods, they had their certain limitations and weaknesses as well. And then actually nowadays, which is the most of the scholar have agreed upon in approach that is termed is eclectic approach for language teaching specifically. Eclectic means collection of all. Eclecticism, it comes from the term there, and it means the collections of all. So wherever you feel that you mastered your approach, it facilitates you an effective learning. You just go to there, because if you see that your students and your scholar are convenient with such things in idea, so you must use them there. And actually, among the commonly non-methodological approaches recommended and successfully used to teach literature in English are language-based approach. They have come to this language-based approach. Remember, you have to remember language-based approach. Literature is a content, and literature for personal enrichment. Okay, these kind of approaches are normally used in it. So first of all, we are going to this language based approach. All right, we are going to talk about this. So in this language model, the main focus is on language, is the literary mediums. Okay, so language, it should be the literary medium. And further, Leza, who states that a language-based approach using literature would include techniques. Remember, techniques and procedures. Okay, let me tell you something that you know. First, first actually, if you come from top to bottom approach, if you come to from top to bottom, the first thing that you have, that is actually from top. From top starts method, and then approach, and then actually it further comes down into certain steps, and that is techniques and procedure which comes to the classroom level. But in method, you have the basic general principles there, and under which the rest of the approaches and actually procedures are made. So obviously, which include techniques which are concerned mainly with the study of literary text itself. So, and such techniques and such procedure then particularly are concerned with that literary text itself. All right. Thus, we can say that sentences are equipped with tools that they need to interpret a text. All right, and to be able to make a competent critical judgments of it. So different sentences, they are actually analyzed, and there are different tools which can be applied to that particular text in order to explain it. The advantages of using literary text for language activities are that they offer a wide range of style. Remember, they offer a wide range of styles. Register. Okay, register is highly linguistic term, and it means a language, situation specific language is termed is register. For example, we have a different registers uh, for uh, for discussions in conversations between student and teacher. We have a different register between husband and wife. We have a different register with son and actually son. So similarly, you can see that the text that is brought to the classroom, that that divide, different activities, and those different activities, they offer a wide range of styles in register, which really make you participate in that way, and they are open, okay, to multiple interpretations. All right, multiple interpretations, and hence provide excellent opportunities for classroom discussion. All right, for classroom discussions. All right, if you bring a text, there, so that text determines your students to participate, and every student comes, you see, with a multiple, explanation for that given text. Everybody has something. So this indirectly, you are trying to, to develop the intellectual outlook and attitude, you see, of the students there, and this classroom becomes a hotspot for discussion, and discussion ensue, and there are multiple interpretations, and which provide excellent opportunities even to students who do not, who normally do not take part in the classroom work and discussion. So they focus, genuinely, genuinely interesting and motivating topics to explore in the classroom. For example, you can say, if a literature text, is brought to the literature and linguistics student, but in out of those interesting topics, you choose, such a topics, right? Like for example, if you like to start your class as a warm up activity, and you just say that every child is the father of mine, so obviously it may think, your student, that what sir has said, it's come oxymoron type of sentence, that is, so it involves, so you mean you thus involve the student intellectually. You're not giving them a ready-made feedback, but you just give a sentence to them in order to make them either object this sentence. Some student may come, let's say, how can a child be a father of man, when that student, took that sentence, you see, just in a literal sense, while other student may think deeper. They may take from this meaning that right from the very beginning, the greatness and qualities of a child can be shown right from his childhood. So, I mean, thus you are actually developing a kind of skill in the students, whose holistic development is taking place after bringing such, text to the classroom there. All right. Literary text, according to Mackay, he is, I think, a famous linguist, are exploited for the teaching of vocabulary. Uh, you can, I mean, such texts can have a very good vocabulary as well. For example, if you take up the prose of Charles Lamb or Francis Bacon, you can have a very unusual sort of vocabulary there. You can have very good vocabulary. For example, if you take Gulliver Travels. So in Gulliver Travels, I mean, such words have been actually invented by the writer Jonathan Swift, that which will really amaze you and will obviously please you as well, because you are going to have a very fantastic vocabulary there. Or even such structure, for example, see the example I just gave you there. Every child is the father of man. All right, look at the structure of this sentence. This is very, very fantastic structure. Sometimes you can have fantastic structure, from the poets and from the from the prose writers, and thus you just get something superb. Or certain language manipulation, it enables you, to manipulate language on the basis of their particularity. Since students become more innovative, they come up with such explanation and such expressions, which obviously are so good indeed, So the students, they will have the opportunity to enrich and develop their language input, since literary texts expose them to varied creative uses of language. So when such texts are brought to the classroom there, so you feel you are trying to to make your students more innovative. You are trying to give them more opportunity for various uses of languages. And further, she added, Mackay, that the reader's responses to the literary text, they are also recorded, however, are totally neglected. His approach may be too mechanistic and thus demotivative. All right, demotivate the pleasure of reading literature. But sometimes even for example, when you bring some text to the classroom there, and it creates, so you may not get the desired answer regarding the text. Some criticism can come from student. Some student, they can come up with their own reasonings, to reject what is said or what the text offers, So thus a real sort of discussion is developed in the classroom there. And as if you are, you are not discussing something mechanistically that a student has to exactly tell you in that particular area. Rather, you are discussing something creatively. All right. They look at the text, they look what the text offers, and then they come up with their own, critical thinking, and they try to discuss with you things, and which may not actually, sometimes the answer to a particular activity or a text in a classroom, it may demotivate, or it may make many students disagree there. So what I'm saying that something uniqueness is there, and the text of a literary text, it can create such enormous opportunities for language learning, for intellect development, for difference in outlook, and and so many other things. So we can say that yes, bringing text to the classroom and then just to involve the student in that particular discussion, that would bring superb innovations and greatly. I'll try to record a small lecture, because then they do not are properly recorded. So therefore I'm trying to I'm trying to help you people to understand this. And remember, please, my dear students, listen to these lectures. Do not waste your time. And whenever you feel anywhere any problem, please, when I upload it actually, and on YouTube or in LMS, so please go and drop your comments over there and try to come up to me.